What's going on, people? Welcome back, as always. And it's about time we finally got the one and only Frazier on the pod. What's going on, man? It's good to see you.
What's up? It's good to see you as well.
And who would have thought that back in high school that this conversation would have eventually happened when we were both blonde? What's going on there?
Right, I'm platinum. Yeah, I don't know. Once I got out the military, I was like, let me try something because I wanted to always do it, but I didn't have the opportunity yet.
Yeah, no, it looks good on you, man. So you just said out the military. So are you? What's going on with that?
I'm not in the Air Force anymore. I got out earlier this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you? Is it like a temporary leave? Or are you like officially done with the military? I don't know how that works.
I'm officially out. I'm like technically everybody who gets out of the military has 2 years where they're in the inactive reserve.
Okay.
And it basically means if we ever went to war, like essentially the military can you still obligated to serve. So
right.
I would still be obligated if we went to war and they needed me. But like that being said, no one in the inactive reserve ever gets called back because
right.
we're never in a war.
So what is it that you're up to these days, or that you're trying to accomplish in your life today?
I'm going to school. I'm still going to school. I work full time, and so right now I'm working full time and I go to school full time, which is crazy. But I go to KU now, the University of Kansas.
Nice.
So yeah, I moved out there to be closer to some family when I got out, and then yeah.
What's your major?
Information technology.
Oh, IT. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea as to what you want to be?
Not yet.
I think that's fair. I have no idea what I want to be. I think that's a fair thing to say. I think it's better to say that than to just completely jump into something that you're not ready for or don't want to do.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but for those that don't know, Tay was high school running back. I blocked for him. Wasn't the best blocker, but blocked for Tay. He was one hell of an athlete. Obviously in the military, so still in shape, I assume.
Yeah. I do my now I'm really into MMA and I do a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Oh my god!
Nowadays,
so pretty much I should just never ever like get into a verbal altercation with you.
I mean, it's fun. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. No, I'm a monster. I'm a monster, low key. I was looking to for a place out here to train while I'm out here,
right?
Just to for a couple of days, but
I'm
trying to take a fight next year.
Really,
mm-hmm.
Dude? That's what's up. Have you seen or been following Jessen? Like what he's been up to? Do you remember Jessen? I actually had him on my podcast like back in April. Jessen Ramcharan, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I literally had him on. Yeah, dude, he actually does UFC type fighting.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Okay, yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I had him on for our cover photo. I had a standoff with him. It was funny as hell.
I think I followed him on social media when I saw him do a fight one time.
He literally just won another fight like this past weekend. He won in like the first round. He's been doing really good. I think he's like 7-1 now, 8-1.
Nice. I don't think I want to do too many. I think I just want to do it just to like did it. Yeah, like to experience that level of competition,
right?
And like that solo, like it's one man, you and one other person in the ring, and like I just want to experience that because I'm so much into MMA now,
right?
UFC, all these people now, and so like I want to know what it's like. We see so much of it, from the TV, but like what is it being in a cage?
Do you have a favorite fighter at the moment? Or a favorite weight class to watch?
I do have weight class. Lightweights, but bantamweights they definitely, I don't know. I like my guy. My favorite was Oliveira, Charles Oliveira, but him getting submitted by Islam Makhachev. He's all the Dagestanian dudes I like.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Enjoy watching, so
yeah.
It's hard to say I like so many people.
Right. Obviously, we are in the midst of NFL season. I'm wearing this nice Bengals Letterman jacket type thing, which honestly I just pulled out the closet, but it's been a minute. And you're drinking off a Bengals cup. Nah, I appreciate it.
Not by choice.
But dude, it's crazy because obviously I'm probably one of the only Bengals fans that you know, or at least like diehard, like since that you've known since like before any of this happens.
Yeah.
And you're one of the Chiefs fans that I've known before anything has gone down. Yes. So break down to the people in case they're wondering how you became a Chiefs fan, where exactly your fandom comes from, and Well, honestly, what you think about the team in this exact given moment in time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan because I was originally from Kansas City, and then I moved down here when I was 9. So everybody knows me. I've always been a Chiefs fan, but I mean, I didn't really start watching probably the Chiefs until I had moved back down here, moved back to Kansas with my dad when I was in 8th grade. And then I went to some games, and I was like, dang. And then that really got me into watching the sport and just being a huge Chiefs fan. And then, I mean, yeah, as far as the team now, I mean, they last night's performance is like, I seen a tweet that it was like the Chiefs can't win a game without giving everybody a heart attack. And I'm like, damn, that is so true because that's how it is. But I mean, it's been honestly a great couple years to watch, especially with 15 at the helm.
I saw a tweet last night and it said the AFC West spent $500 million to beat the Chiefs, and the season's already over.
We're about to be 6-0 in the division.
How crazy is that? Were you nervous when all those teams were making moves in the offseason? Like, what were you like? What was going on in your mind when the Broncos got Russ? Oh, they're loading up. Broncos country, let's ride. Yeah. And then the Chargers got Mac, and they got J.C. Jackson, and they're loading up. And it's like, oh my God, and Herbert in year 3, he's probably gonna make the playoffs. I mean, in this given time, not so much. And then you give Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, and that defense, Chandler Jones.
It's been like, honestly, like, take myself out of being like a Kansas City fan, and obviously like having 15 is amazing, but like as a football fan, like seeing so many young talents at quarterback, it's kind of crazy. Like, just quick sidebar to that, because you got, Joe Burrow, Tua's coming now. I mean, Zach Wilson maybe might get it together, but like he's like, that's far from where you would consider like Lamar, and I mean, who are some of the Kyler? Like, there's so many young, talented quarterbacks. But to answer your question, I mean, maybe a little bit nervous. I think at the end of the day, like, I have so much trust in 15. I was thinking maybe the problem what we're gonna see is the fact that like the Chargers now they already had Bosa, and now they have Khalil Mack. I'm like, oh my goodness, those are premier dudes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Those are premier dudes, and then the Raiders get Chandler Jones. And then the Broncos already have Bradley Chubb, and now they add Russ, and it's like, they're investing into beating us for sure. And I mean, the Chargers, if you think about it, the Chargers and the Raiders are arguably the best built teams that beat the Chiefs. They always give us good games, and they're in the division. They get to see us a lot. The Chargers always give us a headache. So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they're still amazing competitors. It's just kind of crazy how the season turned out. I couldn't see it happening this way.
Can I give you a hot take?
What?
I think it's going to be Chiefs-Bengals AFC Championship again, or divisional game. I think it's guaranteed that you either see the Bills or us in the playoffs. That's
We're
my
not
hot
playing
take.
A divisional game.
That's my hot take.
Yeah, we are.
Well, yeah, if you get the 1 seed,
I forgot the wild card. I was about to say.
No, you good.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
Maybe. I mean, we could see the Bengals.
Yeah.
Because if you guys make it, at this point, it's such a competitive division that I think it's going to be 1 or 2 between you and the Ravens.
I think the Ravens are going to win the division probably because they have the easiest schedule here on out, and they already got over the hardest part of the schedule.
Yeah.
This week we have Tennessee, but if I'm being honest, we always beat Tennessee. Like, even it doesn't matter how many times they've sacked Burrow. I mean, you saw it in the playoffs. They sacked it 9 times, and we still won. Because we're a team that's built to stop that run offense. You stop that. I mean, you really going to trust Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about them. But then we have you guys right after that. And Jamar should be back by then. So hopefully it's going to be a good game. I mean, I think
you guys are our hardest game remaining.
Yeah, we'll get there. And then we play Patriots, Bills, Ravens. Patriots on Christmas Eve, which I hope we give them a holy ass whooping. Oh my God, I hate New England fans. I hate New England. It's been over. It's been so long overdue. Give them that crazy work. Nice lump of coal on Christmas Eve. Right. Just hold that fat L. Then we got the Bills, and we've never played Josh Allen ever in his entire career, except for when he was a rookie in preseason, and he wasn't really good his rookie year. So we have no idea how we face against the Bills.
This is going to be interesting.
And then we don't have our best corner, Chidobe Awuzie. He was a dog, but he's out for the year now. And that's who we had guard.
What was his injury?
Torn ACL. That's who was guarding Tyreek Hill in the playoffs, or both times we played the Chiefs last year. So he was really good. and then we have the Ravens. So, like, I think the Ravens are going to win the division. We make the playoffs. My mindset is make the dance and then just go from there.
That's what you did last year.
That's exactly what we did last year. And it was interesting because, like, I mean, you know what it was like your first year, especially when they made the play. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't you guys lose in the AFC Championship that first year, right?
Yeah, to
New England. And then you beat them the next year, right? Or who did you beat in the AFC Championship?
The Titans the next year.
Yes, you're right. Yep, in Kansas City. That was a good game. Shit.
Great game.
Yeah. No, but what?
Great game the next year with the Bills, too.
So, what was your... So, I've never... I mean, obviously, we've spoken just a little bit. But looking back at it now, why do you think it is that the Bengals were the... Like, you've seen it all the time. We've all seen it. Chiefs go up by 2 scores against you. Game's over. More times than not. Why is it that the Bengals were able to come back down 21-3 both times? And if you... I mean, obviously, it sucks to reminisce, but... If you score on the 1 yard line at halftime in that game, you're going to your 3rd Super Bowl. No shot. We come back down 28-3.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't even really. I put that game so past me. I haven't really thought about that game too much, but
because there was also the game back in December or January before the playoffs. It was the same score at halftime.
Was it?
21-3. That was when Jamar had like 200 something yards.
No, you guys had scored before half.
I think it was 21-3. I could be wrong. I know at some point the score was 21-3.
I know. I mean,
both times.
All right. So my opinion, they're 2 different games. The first game was just the Chiefs kind of losing a game that they every year are going to somehow. I mean, good teams are going to lose games sometimes, and they're going to make mistakes. Like you're going to get, especially when you're the Chiefs at this point, we're getting everybody's best effort.
Yep.
We're getting So I mean, whereas you can have an ascending team like the Eagles. Well, the Eagles are getting a lot of people's best efforts now, but if you're like a Ravens or something, it's a little bit different because like the Chiefs are like literally are gonna pull everyone's best effort. Like Pat is in the game of his life every week, or if we could pull off early, then it's not much of a game. But I don't know. I mean, the first game I just feel like we just lost. There was a couple of opportunities where we're playing a lot of man defense, and y'all just made plays. Jamar, there was a couple of 3rd and longs where Jamar.
Crazy.
And Chardavius Ward wasn't out of necessarily.
Nah, he was
crazy.
there.
It was just that boy was making a play. And you can chop that up to scheme. I mean, 3rd and long, we had decent pressure. That guy just tossed a good ball, and the guy made a great catch. Like, at the end of the day, like, he's in position. So I mean, that was a great game. Now the AFC Championship was like probably Pat's in the scope of like I watched every single Pat game. Like was his worst second half of his career.
Yeah, they showed the first half compared to the second half, and I think he had like less. What was it, like 50 or less passing yards, like 100 less passing yards? I forget what it was.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
crazy.
not sure. I think he was just in his head. And at the end of the day, I was like, 15 has done so many amazing things. He's gonna have a bad moment. And so I was like, that was just, I mean, we lost because of Pat. Like, if you put a game manager in the game for the Chiefs, we win that game. But Pat was just making so many mistakes, and it's because his technique is already a little bit sloppy. He gets away with some sloppy arm angles and stuff like that because he has a great arm. But then when you start getting in your head and now you're doing the same bad technique stuff, it's going to like, it's gonna. So right. you take the good with the bad,
right?
And at the end of the day, you're gonna get a lot more good.
So now that we're in a new season and you trade Tyreek Hill and you guys are still just as good, if not even better, than before.
Yeah.
Do you still miss Tyreek, or like do you think the team's better for letting him go? What do you think?
I miss Tyreek. At the end of the day, are we better with him? Absolutely. I think there's so many good that came out of this too, though.
Yeah.
Like because now you're. Not that Pat has to prove anything else, but now people get to see, okay, it wasn't just quick little slants or throwing to Tyreek, and then, at the end, like, he doesn't have to prove anything, but now you get to see that Pat is going to spread the ball around. He's going to, he still has his guy. He going to have his guy who's the zone beater.
He's unreal.
The guy is amazing.
But
you saw last night.
You could be biased. I don't care if you are. You think he's the best tight end ever?
Yes,
I think so too.
Yeah.
You gotta get the Gronk stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's
maybe
it's
Tony
Kelce.
Gonzalez. You put Gronk and Tony Gonzalez in that conversation. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
you
That's
have
got to be the
arguments.
top 3, right?
Yeah.
And maybe Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
it's usually the consensus top 3.
Yeah. I mean, and you put them in there, and they all did it a little bit differently, and I think that's okay. I mean, you can have your opinion. Like Tony played for the Chiefs too. Tony was a great blocking tight end, and he developed his catching game and his ability to just win those 50-50 balls. Gronk just was a monster blocking, and then just hitting him and Tom. I mean, Tom just skinny slants going to attack the middle.
Yep.
I mean, then Travis, he's like finesse.
He's literally a receiver playing tight end.
Right. He knows where him and Pat are so much like if it's a zone, he's going to know right where Pat's going to want him to be.
Yep.
And if it's man, Pat's going to him.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right.
So, I mean.
Do you have a top 5 current quarterbacks in the league in your head right now?
Not in order because it's so hard right now. We need to answer those questions at the end of the season.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to answer those questions.
Well, let's say like in this given moment in time.
One I know.
Like you said, you don't got to rank them. But
one is
sure,
Pat.
One is Pat. Yeah.
One is Pat. But then you go, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Then it gets a little bit tough because then traditionally I feel like it would be Aaron, but then I feel like Aaron is on the decline.
I think if he still had Aveontae though, he would still be there.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's getting all this hate. I mean, what do you think happened? Listen, I get it. Sure, you get a Tom Brady. Oh, sorry for the little hesitation. I'm watching the United States trying to be Wales here at the same time. Nah, but aside from like the Patriots, the Patriot way, just give them whoever and they'll succeed. At what point have you ever heard of somebody losing their top weapon and still being as successful? That's
Pat.
But he has the greatest tight end of all time, and a bunch of speed demons around still. So, and you guys just got Kadarius Toney. So, I mean, didn't have a good game yesterday, but I mean, unless he got hurt. Yeah, I had a feeling.
I think. I mean, the Aaron situation is interesting because you're right. Like he would definitely be a lot better with Devontae.
Right.
And I think to me that also points up to the point, like one that nobody can do it alone. Like legit, if you took away Travis from Pat, okay, Pat does decline, but Pat still is gonna make plays. Like, there's a difference. I think at this point, like, it's definitely Pat over Aaron. There was a couple years where you can argue either one.
Yeah,
but like I think Aaron is starting to struggle, and the difference between Pat and Aaron, like, look at them during the game. Like, the times where the camera's pointing to them on the sideline in awkward moments, you're like, why is it on their face right now? I don't really care. But then you're just seeing their mentality. Aaron is, he
seems so bitter.
Yeah, he's blaming his teammates. But Pat is such a competitor. He's a competitor. Like,
yeah.
If you're not even, if you hate the Chiefs, I don't understand how you hate Pat. Like, as a competitor.
I love the Chiefs.
Just watch this boy. The guy is motivating. He's giving his all. And, I mean, the guy's, he just.
What do you think about people saying, like, the Jackson Mahomes slander? Do you think it's warranted? What do you think?
I forgot about that.
He's been. I haven't even heard anything about him this season.
Yeah.
Didn't they tell him to
I think
chill out a bit?
I think Pat told him just not to come into the games.
Damn.
I don't know, but I feel like
I know.
happened.
The boiling point was when this dude was dancing on Sean Taylor's memorial. Do you remember that? Did you ever see that?
I did see that.
That was so bad.
I don't think he really understood.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Either. Okay. So I mean, it wasn't fair, but I can understand the frustration, but at the end of the day, it also, I feel like it's kind of weird. There's people are so fixated on his brother. Like, I mean, the guy, and out of all things, I think since Pat is such a boring person sometimes, he doesn't create controversy. He's not calling out people. He's not the controversial figure that Aaron is.
Yeah.
That, it was another way to kind of make his name relevant, or you can talk about how his brother, people legit wanted the Chiefs to lose because of him. I was like, that's crazy.
I mean, that's, if you want to find one thing to point at to say I hate the Chiefs, that's what it was.
Memes were funny. Some of the memes were hilarious.
For sure.
I think he's a little bit, I mean, obviously when you come from a family like that, you're probably a little bit cocky.
Back to the that Tyreek Hill, the yak. Oh, Mahomes lives off yak plays. That's the exact same thing I get with Burrow and Chase. Oh, Burrow can't succeed without Chase. Burrow sucks without Chase. Burrow's the king. Like he does. Do you know how annoying that is? And I tell you, I tried to tell these people last year. And look, was it a hot take? Sure, but listen, I'm a diehard. Like, I'm really built different when it comes to this. Like, I really study. Like, we were talking about podcasts right before we started recording. Like, I really listen to podcasts every day. I'm constantly reading about this team every day. So when I saw the pieces that we added in the offseason, and then you get Jamar, and yeah, he took a year off college, and he wasn't catching the ball in the preseason. But if he was the player that people thought he was, which clearly that turned out to be, and then you have Joe Burrow entering year 2, sure, off a torn ACL, but if he's this player, you think he's going to take a step. T. Higgins, Joe Mixon. And then the defense, I mean, they shored up. And I try to tell people, I said, because I'm sure you've heard about the blueprint as a Chiefs fan before the Mahomes contract. You constantly need to surround the quarterback with as many weapons as possible to maximize the roster.
Quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yes, the rookie quarterback blueprint.
Get some elite pass rushers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows it, but apparently not, because when I try to explain it, I sounded like a mad scientist. Like, it's so simple.
How long is he on his rookie contract?
Who, Burrow?
Yeah, or is he?
This is year 3. So he has next year, and then they always do the 5th year. They always give that 5th year option because they're still not paying as much as it can be.
You remember how absurd Patrick Mahomes' contract was?
Isn't it like 10-year, like 500 mil?
45 eventually. Bargain right now.
What is this, year 2 of the deal? Year 1?
This is like 3, maybe 3.
Well, when was he drafted? 2017?
He got that contract right after the Super Bowl. So maybe year 2 into it, maybe.
Damn. And how much? Do you remember how much it was? I know it was 10. I think it was like 10 years. 10-year like contract.
450 million.
Oh my God.
But eventually they're gonna restructure it, give him more money.
Yeah.
Because I mean the salary is already into the 40 millions. It was a big number because it was the first quarterback to hit 40 million in a year.
Right.
But now, I mean, you have. Look at Deshaun's contract. That was crazy.
Fully guaranteed. Fully.
And I mean, hopefully he gets on the field. I hope he gets on the field eventually.
Oh yeah, well he's slated to play against Houston this Sunday, next Sunday.
Just because he's another exciting young quarterback that we haven't got to see.
He is.
And imagine, I mean,
we're talking about the player. We're talking about the player here, not the person, the player.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I don't know. Look, I don't even keep up with this stuff. So like when I'm so out of the loop, like
really
the stuff that like just because it's like I try to stay out of politics. I mean, when I was in the military, it was kind of unavoidable.
Yeah,
and, people in the military have opinions too. So, but yeah, I mean, like I was never someone who's big. Like at the end of the day, I don't want my life to be dictated by who the president is. So that's not.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah. But like, have you heard exactly like what Deshaun did, or was accused of?
I heard he was like accused. It was like some kind of massages that he was taking.
Yeah, it was like sexually harassing at the massage parlors or whatever. Yeah, something like that.
It was
so many cases the dude had.
Yeah, at first I was like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But then so many cases,
there was weird. So many.
But then it's, I don't know. Call me a little bit skeptic, or a little critical. But like it seemed kind of weird timing that everything happened around the timing of his contract. I'm not saying it was because of that, but
he got the contract after all that. It wasn't before. It's not he got the contract and then those allegations happened. The allegations were a thing. That's why he never played in Houston that last year. That's why they
no. He already had a contract, but the thing was he was trying to get out of Houston, but Houston didn't want him to leave. Like he had to and he had the no trade clause, so he had to approve whoever Houston wanted to trade him to.
Okay,
and so, but he was. You remember he was threatening to not even. Was he threatening not to play? It was something like really weird where he had maybe a little leverage, and it felt. I'm not, again. I don't.
No, I think you might be right here.
I'm not trying to sound.
No.
Like
I hear you.
Because I'm not a conspiracy nut, but I feel like it was a little bit interesting. I'm gonna leave it at
no. I got you. No, yeah. I've heard people say that they think that at least a couple of those people were trying to at least money chase or something.
Yeah. I mean,
because so many. I mean,
and at the end of the day, like let's be honest,
this dude's getting a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm with you on that. Yeah. I'm not saying it's true or false. No, we're not. We respect all people.
I think
looking at a headline. That's all it is. Nothing deep.
I hear you. My
though.
question to you, because I was actually kind of thinking about this earlier.
Okay.
Like, and people have a great point when they say this. Like Pat got drafted in the perfect situation. Like, Pat maybe not as great right now without Andy Reid, without Eric Bieniemy, without going into it with Travis. Like, these are things that shouldn't necessarily be a knock. Like, they developed him into kind of who he is.
Yeah.
But I think people have a point when they say he got drafted into a good situation. I'm kind of thinking, well, the Bengals are like this franchise to me that I'm like, okay, they got quarterback probably right now. They have quarterback right. They got some dogs at receiver. They got a dog at RB. They need to figure out the line, no doubt. They still need to figure that out.
They had a really good game against Pittsburgh last night.
I didn't see it.
They had a TJ Watt had the least.
I did see that interception he had.
That was on that. I hate that. The Watt brothers. I've hated the Watt brothers for so long.
Yeah.
And you take JJ, who I've actually hated. He was one of my most hated players in all football because he beat us in the playoffs back in like 2011 and 12 because he had a pick six. The man single-handedly had a pick six.
Yeah.
And then he would always talk shit to Andy Dalton. And then you take that, you get an even better brother, what some people might believe, and you put him in my division. Oh nah, like it's really. I hate TJ. He has some dope ass celebrations. He's a dog, but I don't know if you knew this, but we got Lyle Collins from the Cowboys playing right tackle. Started off the season terribly, but apparently he was going through a really bad back issue.
Okay.
So he wasn't playing in the preseason. None of our starters played in the preseason. That's what the headlines fail to tell people. So Burrow, who had his appendix surgery in the offseason, lost a ton of strength and no preseason. Week 1, obviously looking back at it now, was a fluke because he had like 5 turnovers that game. It was insane.
Crazy.
The O-line was getting destroyed, but now it seems like the team is truly hunkered in. I mean, like they look really good. Yeah. At least the offense, so to speak, because our defense, we'll get to that. But people don't remember when Burrow was getting drafted and they were saying, oh, Burrow should not go to Cincinnati. Like, they're going to ruin his career. I'm like, what are you people talking about? Like, we were literally a playoff team from 2011 to 15 consecutively. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like, what are you, like, just because we have a bad patch, like, you're going to give us crap? And given in the 90s, we were one of the worst teams in football. There's no hiding that. But we once had a former MVP, Ken Anderson, who's supposed to be a Hall of Famer. He's actually one of the bigger blackballed players. I know that sounded weird. But he is one of those players that should be in the Hall of Fame, but he's not.
So funny.
Yeah, I know. We have Ken Anderson, who I'm sure you know because he's always... Or no, Boomer, excuse me. We have Boomer, who's always on CBS, one of the people I don't want to say commentate, but like those people that talk pregame and stuff.
Yeah, that's a
with Coach Cowher. So, but we had Boomer. He was incredible. Led us to a Super Bowl just like Ken did. Then we had Carson Palmer, and obviously that ended ugly, but he was a dog when he played for us. And then you get Andy Dalton, and yes, I know obviously he's not the best right now, and he never really was. He's literally like Kirk Cousins. That's all he really was. But I think he's top 5 all time in passing yards and touchdowns for us. He had a very successful career, I'd say, aside from no playoff wins. Mm-hmm. And then you get Joe Burrow. So, like, clearly the draft history is there.
Yeah.
Not a single one of those quarterbacks, except for Carson, because he got salty, wanted out, or I would say their careers were ruined. So, like, I always knew that Burrow was going to be just fine, especially since from Ohio, the storyline made sense. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. It was just a matter if they could spend in free agency, not be cheap.
Did you know he was a Chiefs fan?
Burrow?
Mm-hmm.
I did look into that. Where he had the Chiefs hat when he was a kid. It was something like that.
It was something they mentioned during the game.
He was a Saints fan because Drew Brees was his favorite player. I did see that though. Like I think he wore Chiefs hat when he was a kid.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
But yeah, no, he was a Brees fan growing up. So he said the Saints, which is kind of weird because then he went to LSU. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Down there in the South, but
I guess to get back to that question.
Yeah.
Like, I guess. What do you think is going on to where, like, what's the next step for the franchise? As like, because right now, obviously, they need to shore up the offensive line, but like, why are they not taking the next step? Because honestly, you're in risk of maybe having a letdown. If let's say worst case scenario,
what's a letdown to you?
Not making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
that's the only letdown. I mean, obviously, first round exit would kind of be
that would be a disappointment.
That would be
the Super Bowl. Yeah.
I don't know if it would be so much of a letdown as not making the playoffs, but like first round exit would kind of be.
It would be very
disappointing.
bitter. It would be disappointing for sure.
It would be disappointing.
I mean, obviously making the Super Bowl every year is damn near impossible, like on a consistent basis. I mean,
Yeah.
And especially once you're in the playoffs, every game, every play, you feel like you're gonna have a heart attack. And dude, and you want to talk about playoffs, dude? We went from not having a single playoff win in my lifetime since like the late '80s or early '90s. Man. And we just winning one game after another, but all of them were thrillers. Yeah. Raiders game, thriller. It took a game-sealing interception to win the game, which like Derek Carr, they somehow could. That. Yeah. And then we go into the number 1 seed stadium on the road. Joe Burrow's getting sacked like every play and destroyed. We somehow won that game. Yeah. And then you go into Arrowhead Stadium, and your D tackle picks off Pat Mahomes. Like plays like that are like, oh my god, like now what is going on? Like it was incredible. Yeah. But I think the offense is fine. I think personally, if I was the GM, the next big step is it's got to be pass rusher. We have Trey Hendrickson, who's great. He's really good. I believe we have a top 5 defensive tackle in all of football. Never mind like pass rush ability. DJ Reader, I believe, is the best run stopping nose tackle in football. He's like our Vince Wilfork, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I think he's incredible. And not many people.
Do you think pass rusher is more important than tackle at this point?
Offensive tackle or D tackle?
Offensive.
Yeah, in this given moment, yeah, because I mean the O-line looks good. It looks better, but we drafted our first round pick Jonah Williams, who's our left tackle, in 2018, and he'll struggle against like the elite pass rusher, but who doesn't, right? But then he'll just have a game where he'll let up like 3 sacks to like some random rotational D end. It's like, all right, what are we doing, buddy? Like, let's figure that out. So that's frustrating, but I think we need a pass rusher. Like we have Trey Hendrickson, he's great, but we don't have the Chris Jones of the world. We don't have an Aaron Donald of the world. A Bosa, Khalil Mack. We don't have that. Mm-hmm. So that's been frustrating because if you watch a game, the only way we eventually get the sacks is because probably coverage sacks if Trey Hendrickson doesn't get home. Mm-hmm. It just feels like the D-line is very neutral. I don't know. Our defense isn't exciting. Like if you think about, I mean, like you can't name a star player. I mean, Jesse Bates. I mean, I think he's great and all. He had a really great playoff run, but I don't think he's. This is his last year of his contract, and I think he's going to be leaving after this year.
Come to Kansas City, man.
He probably will. I mean, I don't know why anybody wouldn't.
I think that's interesting.
But I do think as long as, like you said, and I'm sure all Chiefs fans say this, we got 15, we're good. Yeah. We got 9, we're good. Like when you truly feel like you have a quarterback that's an absolute dog, like you just there's no reason to think you're not going to win the game. Mm-hmm. And that's very rare to say. I was trying to convince people that Burrow was a top 10 quarterback last year. Like I was really fighting on that hill. And now I'm fighting that he's a top 5. You see? First it's, Herbert's better than Burrow. Clear cut, bar none. Burrow's not that guy. He needs Jamar Chase. He needs all these things to go right for him.
Who are your top 3?
Top 3?
Because those are, I feel like you should be able to place 3.
The 3 you said.
In my order?
Patrick, Josh, Burrow. That's my top 3.
Okay. So you don't think he's right where Josh is yet?
Last year, before the Chiefs Bills playoff game, I was saying Burrow was better. And then that happened, I was like, ooh.
Right.
I was like, oh.
Josh.
Ooh, man. What? Ooh.
But without Brian Daboll, let's see. Because now Josh is starting to make some mistakes. And let's see what happens.
I do think Burrow's elite, yeah. If that's what you mean. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's like... he puts the fear of God in you, but it's kind of weird because like Brady never did that, but you would always acknowledge him as one of the best. Yeah. But you knew when the ball's in his hands last drive of the game, GG's. Yeah. So it's weird, but it's just because like there's no flash. Like people just love flash these days. They love the Lamars, they love their Mahomes, they love their Josh Allen, guy who could just run and scramble around the pocket if he wants to, and just throw 80 yards, sidearm. You know what I'm saying?
I will say.
But yeah, I put him up there.
I would say honestly, if I'm being as a Chiefs fan, I would say the Bengals game makes me nervous, and it only makes me nervous because it feels like it's supposed like the Bengals are. It feels like they're supposed to be our kryptonite right now.
It does, right? Yeah. I'm not even trying to say it to be biased,
and I feel like we are truly in great form right now. Like, we're gonna play. People are still gonna give us some really good games, but we're in great form. If we play this way into the playoffs, I have no doubt we're probably gonna go to another Super Bowl. But it feels like the Bengals are like just meant, like they're gonna, like we're gonna come out there and like you guys are gonna win somehow. I truly think you're probably gonna win. I have a feeling.
I'm still scared though. Like it's the Chiefs. Like
yeah,
you see, it's funny that you say that because it's the Bengals. But I think it's in Cincinnati.
Okay,
I think I could be wrong.
Pat's such a great road quarterback though. Like honestly, he's undefeated against the AFC West on the road.
That's insane. That's such a stupid stat. I think I saw something that said Patrick Mahomes is the longest consecutive win streak in November and December ever.
25.
Like, what the hell is that? Like, what are we doing here? This dude's really playing Madden in real life. It just makes no sense. But see, like you hear these stats and you're like, holy shit, we got to play Pat Mahomes, and it's twice now that. And it's one thing to be in a shootout, but then you let them get a massive lead and you come back and win. It's like, now what's the real storyline here? Is it the Chiefs choked?
Yeah.
The Bengals that were actually good and they finally got it going, or is it a little bit of both? Like, who knows? But maybe we'll get our answer in 2 weeks.
We will. It will be a good game. It wouldn't surprise me. Here, I think we have a really good shot at winning. I think it wouldn't surprise me if we lost just because it feels like the seeds are in order. Like, you can't be dominant. Like, Tom Brady probably has a losing record against some quarterback. Yeah. You can't be like, somebody is your kryptonite.
Right.
Is Burrow going to be Mahomes' kryptonite?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think in the playoffs, Mahomes is never going to have a second half like that again.
Yeah.
He might, but, like, if he even plays half of his real potential in that game, we probably come out of that game with a win.
For sure.
He had, like, one of the like worst breakdowns and I remember seeing it like, man, even as we like were going to overtime, I was like, we're getting the ball first, but Pat doesn't feel like Pat right now. Like it's like I don't know if we're gonna be able to go down.
When you guys won the coin toss, my heart just I can't really explain. Yeah, because everyone saw what happened the week before, but man, as when we got that stop, I tell you when we got that stop, I literally said we're going to the Super Bowl. I just knew right then and there. It was only right. You don't get a stop like that against a team like that and not finish the job. There's just no way.
Yeah.
Everything culminated into that one moment. Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, sports. I love football. I've been trying to get people to like buy into football. I've been like, I'll see random people. I'll be like, oh, you have a favorite team? No, you're a Bengals fan. Like, welcome. But sports is definitely great. And I'm sure we'll talk in 2 weeks. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll get each other's takes. But no, let me ask you this. So Tay Frazier in 2022 compared to Tay Frazier in high school. What's the difference between you now and you then? You think you're better, like more complete, more at peace with yourself now compared to then? Yeah.
Wow, what a great question.
Where do you feel mentally and physically?
I think both I've definitely developed.
Okay.
I mean, mentally, I'm at such a different level. Like, as far as I think I've always been driven towards success, and I feel like that's probably the same. But as far as like now, I'm actually building the actual technical or the more tangible knowledge behind it. So mixing also wanting to be successful with now having the tools and resources to achieve it, then that's where I'm at. As far as physically, I mean, like I said, once I started training this stuff, bro, I'm a monster. Like, I can go. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is kind of where my base is. I do MMA just to learn striking and stuff. But like, it's such a. You did wrestling, right?
My brother did, but I trained with him from a little bit. But yeah, my brother was a wrestler. Yep.
But you at least like know what it feels like to kind of do those workouts, right?
Oh my God, they're grueling.
Yeah. I do
nothing but respect to those people that do any fighting, combat, wrestling, any of that. It's grueling. It's a gauntlet.
I tell people, it's a battle. For 5 minutes at the end of every workout, you do 5-minute drill session. So like you get your partner, 5 minutes, you're going at each other. And in jiu-jitsu, the goal of it ultimately is to submit the other person, whether it's a choke, some kind of, if we're in the gi, we can use like the gi to choke people. If you're in no gi, then I'm just trying to choke you however I can, but it's either a choke or a joint lock or something. Like I'm trying to arm bars, trying to dislocate the elbow.
Yep.
A knee bar is trying to dislocate the knee. There's heel hooks, which you're messing up the whole knee. There's like so many things, and you do that during 5 minutes, like it's war. So I tell people like I'm in the best shape of my life. I can go at it, and I'm gonna get even better because next year I'm gonna drop weight. Like I said, I want to take a fight. I'm at 175 right now, and I'm really good at 175, but I'm gonna be dropping like 20. So I'm gonna try to fight at 155, and just for comparison, because also when you see UFC fights, it's kind of hard to scale this, but the lightweights are all fighting at 155. So your Poiriers, your Oliveira's, all those people are 155, and they're usually like around my height. So that's kind of like the competition. Obviously, right. I'm not fighting that level of competition, but that's kind of where I would be fighting at, as opposed to if I tried to fight in my natural weight, I would be fighting, the Kamaru Usmans, the Kobe Covingtons, all those people who like those people, and so it wouldn't make sense. I mean, for someone like my size to fight at trying at that weight, so you naturally have to cut. But
do you think this version of you would run laps around your high school self? You think so?
This version of me would
give out that crazy work.
Yeah. If high school version of me tried to grapple with me, and just put a skill aside, like if I just didn't even try to submit the version of my high school self, but I just tried to just put myself like I can push the pace, like I can. If someone wanted to roll with me per se, and they had no experience, I wouldn't necessarily try to submit them, but I would. There's a way for me to kind of just tire you out so much. Like right. I would push the pace so much on you. I would use my weight. I would like keep you pinned in a way that you've never been pinned. Like I didn't even know that I could be controlled this way. Like wow. That's how much control I really have. But yeah, that version of me has even like I also think there's a difference in the level of discipline. So like I said, I'm a full-time student. I work full-time and I train. So like Monday I have the same schedule. Monday, that's the only day I actually sleep in. I'll go to class, then I have a little bit of time off, and that day I'm doing my MMA training at 5:45 until like 7, and then I'm doing BJJ from 7 to like 9.
Wow.
Tuesday I'm waking up. I don't get to sleep till around like 11, 12. Tuesday I'm waking up at 5 to drive to KU. I live like about 45 minutes to work out before class. I have an 8 a.m. class. Then I'll go to class from 8 to 11 and drive straight home to work because I work from 12 to 10. And then the next day I wake up and do the same thing. And then on Fridays I get back to my BJJ, Saturdays BJJ, Sunday. So it's like
wow, respect to you, man.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
I think that's kind of where I'm at as far as mentally and physically, though.
You definitely seem, even in high school, though, you've just always seemed so mentally sharp. Do you think you get that from your family? Do you think
Probably.
You've always had that in you? Like, I don't think I've ever seen you where you just seemed out of sorts. Like, you showed any signs of mental weakness. You just seemed like you've always kind of just gone with the flow and never really had any setbacks, at least that I've seen.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I don't know. I think it's probably a lot of family.
Wow.
Like just picking up
good for you.
Some of those intangibles.
If you were to talk to yourself back in high school, what would you tell them?
I wish I could. I mean, if I could do high school over again, if I just knew the stuff that I knew, like, I think I would. I probably would have. I don't know. Maybe I would have tried to go play college football more serious. Like, I don't know though, because I really enjoyed my time in the military.
No regrets though, right? I hope no regrets.
No.
All right, good.
I think if I could talk to myself, and it would just be like just telling myself the things I didn't know. Like just take school more seriously. Like take your academics more serious. There was no reason why I should have been getting the grades that I was getting, and now I'm a straight A student. Like there's no reason that I should have been that lazy and like not. I never took homework home. Like I did. If I didn't do it in school, I didn't do it.
Wow.
And now, I mean, now I do my homework. Now I have A's. Like, oh wow, what a hard realization.
I definitely think that people need to do their homework and definitely need to focus on their grades. However, there is a however. Only in my case, I never gave it my best effort. Sure, I could have given my best effort, but I never let myself get to a point where I was like, dude, like, we need to step this up. I feel like I've just cruised along, and even then, hey, never had a 4.0 GPA, and I'm still in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could still be successful in your own ways. It's just a matter of what is success in your eyes. Yeah. I think as long as you're still progressing, at the end of the day, survive and advance type mentality. Unless you're trying to be a lawyer or a doctor, or like yes, you better pay attention. You will really you will really lose a case and give someone the death sentence. Like, do not cheat in law school. Don't do any of that. Yeah. And obviously, you want to know what you're doing as a nurse and stuff, or a physical therapist, or whatever those occupations are. But I would even talk to my younger self in terms of like academics and grades, but like you said, like, everyone's different. Like, you the first thing that you thought of was that. For me, it was just like, dude, just breathe. I was so tense back in high school. Like, now I'm just so at peace. You know, like like even playing football, like I never felt comfortable, and like I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. Like when I watch football now, I'm like, wow, like they make it look so easy, but like, you can tell like they're all talented, but they're also skilled at the same time. Like me, I felt like I never. Not even just football, like basketball. When we played basketball back in rec, like I never, if I even touched the ball or if like I was put in the spotlight, like I kind of just like froze up because I was just so mentally crippled. But you've had one of the most contagious laughs I've ever heard to this day.
Thank you.
Everybody knows that, and you're just like this free spirit, but like off the gun, like you've never like, and that's so good because you know how it's supposed to look in life. Up to this point, because you've done it for so long. Me, now, I can say that. Because in high school, like, that's not supposed to look. But I'm glad it happened.
Confidence will really help you.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Really
I'm glad it happened because now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know what it looks like. Now I know what it's like to be comfortable in your own skin and go with the flow. And
it would change your whole perspective.
It does.
Life. Your whole perspective. Like, just confidence.
And I never felt like I had a purpose. I mean, have you always felt like you knew what your purpose was in life? Are you still trying to figure that out?
I feel like my purpose is I just want to be the best version that I can ever be of myself.
You sound like Naruto.
So whatever I do, and it just sounds so cliche and corny, but like legit, whatever I do, I'm such a competitor. I want to be really good at it.
Yeah. I
want to make a lot of money in life. I want to be able to give like no other. I want to make a lot of money so I can give a lot of money. Like,
I like that.
That's what, and it sounds cliche again, but obviously I want to make a lot of money because I want to live a good life too.
Oh, hell yeah.
But how, getting like my coach and at the gym, he's actually in the UFC. Shout out to Trey Ogden if you want to check him out. And he's like a black belt and everything. He told me one time, he's so funny. He he came up to me one time. He was like, Tay. I was like, what's up? And he's like, if you remember one thing in life, and I'm gonna mess it up exactly what he said. He basically was like, water the garden more than you take from it. And I was like, appreciate it, Trey.
Okay.
And he just kind of walked off, and I kept training. But it was like, water the garden more than you take from it.
Right.
And I think that's a great philosophy. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna work so hard so that I can obviously create for myself, but I also want to create for those that I love.
So you definitely think that you were put on this planet in this given time to just be the best, just so you can do the best possible things, no matter what that entails. I respect that.
Being the best version of myself improves the lives of the people around me.
I like that. That's nice.
Being the best, like uplifting those around you and being around people who uplift you is only gonna make your life better.
Do you have some sort of faith? Are you into? Are you spiritual at all, or not really, or just out of curiosity?
Not that. On the scale, probably not.
Do you believe in anything or no?
I mean, do I believe in like a specific religion? Like
it can be
if
whatever.
I was under I guess I'm a Christian, but like, am I like as religious as I could be?
No, I mean, I don't. No, I don't think going.
Believe in a higher power.
Okay, I don't think going to church on every Sundays means you're more like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that dictates what.
Okay.
That's
fair,
no, I haven't been to church in a long time, but I still find my ways. Like every time before I drive, Father, Son, every time.
Yeah.
Because God willing, I can get to the next place.
Great attitude.
Yeah, that's every time I drive. I'll try and say a prayer when I wake up or before I go to bed, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I always find just little moments in time, bow my head or something. But like I don't think going to church necessarily makes you a better person. I actually learned that from my stepfather, God rest his soul. There'd be times, so we always went to a Catholic church growing up, at least I did, like my family, and one time we went, and so when people go up to like get the communion, which is like the body of Christ type thing, that's what they do, he never got up, and I was like, why didn't you get up? And he goes, oh, like just because I take that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be a better person. He said, I don't feel like I'm worthy of this forgiveness. Like I strive for that every day. And I was like, whoa, like wow, like that's what's up. Like I respect the hell out of that. So, but like, have you felt like that's giving you peace in the long run of things? Like, have you ever had the moment like, holy shit, I'm gonna die at some point? Because I got hit with that last year. I'll never forget it. I was up at 3 a.m. playing PlayStation. No, Tay, I swear to God, this is a true story. I was up at 3 a.m. Playing. I forget what I was playing, but I just remember my friends were laughing their asses off, and I'm just sitting there like, what are we doing? What are we doing, dude? Like, I gotta start living life. Yeah. And I just got so overwhelmed because, like, it hits at random ages, but like we're mortal, you know. Like you grow up, you progress throughout life, and you decay, and it's a scary thought. Yeah. But do you think that's maybe an aspect of why you want to be so successful? Is because like you don't want to like waste time. Like you might as well make the most of whatever given time you have.
For sure. Like I'm just so blessed that I've developed the perspective that I did. Like I developed the perspective that you should work hard. You should do the right things. You should seek ways to make your life harder so that you grow. You should not
seek comfort.
Yeah, and not toxic ways, but like I can do that by going to the gym. Yeah. Me engaging and me getting up at 5 a.m. and battling with my mind. Okay, all right, I got myself out of bed. Now let's drive. Now let's get to the gym. And now, all right, now I feel lazy. Now I don't want to do this, but like do something hard to make yourself better. I'm just, I guess to the point, I'm glad I developed this perspective because it's just gonna, I've already seen it pay dividends and like the outcomes that I've been seeking to achieve. But I think that's kind of, to answer your question, probably a reason.
Do you think it's better for somebody to get up, just show up to the gym and do a couple lifts and go home than to just stay at home?
Generally, yeah. That person's probably, especially if that person doesn't work out. Like if that person, I don't even think that working out should always be about, and maybe this is even maybe a David Goggins perspective, like working out, yes, you want to look good, you want to feel good, those kind of things, but it should also be about the fact that it's hard. Like it should be about overcoming the suck. It should be about you doing something every day that you don't want to do to stay disciplined. Like I think discipline is just such a big thing for me. Like I need to do something hard. I need to do or something. Like I'll talk to someone throughout the day and I'll say something that just maybe I'm engaging in, and I'm like, why do you do that? I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, you like to do that? No, I don't like to do it. Why are you doing it? Oh, yeah, because it's making me a better person. Right. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's nice that you mentioned Goggins. Not many people know about Goggins. Mm-hmm. Or same with Joe Rogan, like you were talking about that earlier. What exactly got you into listening to Rogan or podcasts in general?
Yeah, that was honestly like right as I was at UConn. Like I don't know how I started listening to it. Oh, I listened to I put on somehow got to the podcast part, put on some random podcast with Joe Rogan, and he had somebody on where, and it's just crazy that it happenstance. It happened this way. I started listening, and it was not even one of my favorite podcasts, but it was just one that got me interested enough that I was like, okay, what is this? And so it was about a guy who was like the first person who, what's that landmass that people have been trying to get through? Is like the ice. Is it Antarctica? Like them trying to get across some ice or whatever. The first person who did it was like 2 years ago, I think. Okay. But I was listening to him, but then like Joe. The really interesting thing about Joe is like he just has people on that are just like interesting people, like and they just have interesting things to tell you if you actually listen. And he had
seriously
one about the war on drugs, like one of my favorite podcasts ever.
Right.
And just talking about how we've gotten to the stance where we are, and like there's so much, like you listen to music so much in your car. If you just replace that time with listening to a podcast, you learn so much,
and it passes the time. It's just and especially like you don't even have to like sit there and stare at your phone and listen or watch. You just like do something and like play it in the background.
Yeah,
and you'll pick up on some things. But yeah, no, Rogan is definitely good.
It's
awesome. No, I'm trying to think of some of the people he's had.
He also
on.
got me into BJJ.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
dude, you should do it.
He's had him in well, obviously he does MMA, but what's the guy's name? He always has that jiu-jitsu coach on. He literally just had him on not too long ago. Eddie Bravo. Eddie got
a good game too.
Yeah, Eddie's the man.
He has a lot of he brings on a lot of people. He's just around the game, and obviously, like if you watch UFC, he's obviously commentating those fights too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got me somewhat like really into this stuff, but I don't know, if you just take a little bit of the time out of your day and listen to a couple podcasts, you hear perspective, you'll learn something, you'll learn about, I don't know, doesn't it sound interesting to randomly learn throughout one of your days about the roots of the drug war in Latin America, or, you know, the roots of the unrest in the Middle East or something? Like those are some things you can just learn by like listening to somebody, an expert. It's kind of cool to me.
If I had my goal, man, it would just be so cool to just have, honestly, any celebrity on just to talk to them, because I feel like sometimes when I listen to podcasts or certain interviews with people, I don't feel like they're asking the right questions. You just have, like, maybe it's because they're around them too much, and maybe it's all scripted, where like they tell the celebrity ahead of time, and like they already know softball questions. Like I really want to ask a celebrity, like, to their face, like, why do you think there's this disconnect between celebrities and like the regular people? Like why or why don't you think that how do I say this? Or like what truly goes on behind the scenes that we don't see of life as a celebrity? Like I want to hear them talk about, oh yeah, like I can't go to a restaurant anymore because people just mob me. Like it's crazy. Or like what they miss about being a regular civilian again. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. I would love to pick somebody's brain about that stuff.
Yeah.
And see what they can possibly teach me. I mean, you know,
I'm sure you will.
It's cool. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day. I want to have that moment where I'm starstruck beforehand, and then like I'm still starstruck mid conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that'd be insane.
That would be awesome. Joe, I think is kind of interesting with his podcast because, like, obviously, if you think about podcasts, he's probably the biggest.
He's the king.
Like, yeah, he's the king, and as far as if you're anybody who ever wants somebody to hear what you got to say, like, you're probably trying to get on Joe Rogan's podcast if you like want to get on a podcast medium.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that's one of the really interesting, and honestly, I'll have times where I'm like, okay, well, I want to listen to a podcast, but you know, I don't want it to be. I'm scrolling through his people, like seeing their biography, basically, like, okay, let's see what I can listen to now, but like I'm at the point where it's so hard to find something because there's so many different things, or like I don't really feel like in the mood to listen to this particular topic. But I think once you start getting people on, like another reason is because he's getting people on in certain niches. Like he'll get somebody who's maybe a philosopher, or he'll get somebody who's a medical expert, then he gets an MMA guy and a comedian, and then he has this, or his first person to ever do this. And so like he's just getting so many different people,
seriously,
who also are starting to bring a crowd in, and maybe those people who like somebody who followed them heard they're on the podcast or something, and maybe listen to it. Oh, now they're a Joe Rogan fan. I don't know. That's kind of how it happened. I just randomly listened to a Joe Rogan podcast.
No, Rogan's definitely good, and I definitely think that whether it's you with. Whether it's maybe eventually jiu-jitsu does take over and you actually do become a professional fighter. Who knows?
That would be crazy.
Who knows? Or
people keep telling me at the gym that they're like, "Yeah, you say."
If I'm not mistaken, you put stuff on your story, right? Where you're wearing the blue outfit,
that's
right?
jiu-jitsu,
yeah, that's you doing. Yeah.
There's no striking in that one. That's purely just
grapple stuff.
And yeah, I'm pretty. I mean, it's very humbling too. So jiu-jitsu is all about experience and technique. So I'm about to be a 6-month white belt at this point, and I'm a really good 6-month white belt. But there's people in there who are blue belts. So in jiu-jitsu it's white, blue, purple, brown, black, and then every belt really should mean something. Like, whereas in karate, and I'm not trying to shit on karate, but a belt is really a lot more subjective. Whereas jiu-jitsu is like, you're supposed to be able to take a blue belt in California and place him against a blue belt in Connecticut. Like, it's supposed to be like that level of competitiveness. And so me going, like I said, or let me try to reel it back in. The humbleness comes into play where, like, me going against a higher level belt during a roll session, or like calling out people who I knew I'm gonna get my ass kicked by. But I got to do it. I can't get to their level if I never challenge them.
I also think, I'm sure being in the military has also helped you have that drive too, and that edge. Come on now. For sure.
It probably really
might give you the advantage, if anything.
Yeah. Especially my time at the Air Force Academy. Yeah. Like, having to do that many things that I don't want to do.
My cousin's in the Air Force right now. He's stationed out in Arizona right now. Mm-hmm. Hot as balls over there. Crazy.
What part?
That I don't think I know. I'm sure you know, like, the stations or whatever.
I'm trying to think. There's one.
I probably couldn't give you the answer, but maybe after we're done here, I can show you. But I definitely wish you the best of luck, and I'll probably shout you out on my story because I'll be like, I had this guy on. He said he was gonna get into a fight and won.
I'll come back after my first fight.
Hell yeah! No, but this was great, man. It was great catching up.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I told you right before we were gonna?
The 3 questions.
Yes. Think you're ready?
I don't remember the 3.
All right, I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Let's start with the first one. Favorite show or movie?
Yeah.
Or just one, at least one of each, or just one in general that you could recommend to the people or to me.
My favorite, movies kind of hard. Show would definitely be Breaking Bad.
Nice.
That's my favorite.
It's the best.
I can watch that many times over.
I've seen it like 6 times.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Have you seen Better Call Saul?
Incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
finish it? I've seen like the first few episodes of the last season.
You gotta finish it.
I will.
Oh, it's so good. That's a good shout. So Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, the Breaking Bad series. Yes. That's a good shout.
That's a great shout. What's the second question?
Favorite artist and or album to recommend to the people?
Ooh. Oh, gosh.
Just someone that you've loved listening to, or just their project, or whatever.
Right now, Giveon.
Giveon's nice. I like that one.
Yeah. But, like, as far as work of art as a portfolio as a artist, I'm not sure that would take me a little bit of time. I think, like, there's so many great people, and J. Cole, Kanye for all his controversy.
Yeah.
Drake, obviously. But, like, these people are, kind of putting out different vibes. So, like, what vibe are you in? And generally, I'm in a Giveon vibe.
Just a nice, calm R&B vibe.
Yeah, like, I want to listen, some SZA, some, like, honestly,
SZA's
that's, like,
awesome.
that's my vibe. Like,
yeah.
I like.
Do you like Thames or, like, chill Nigerian vibe music? I love that. Like, Wizkid, Thames, Burna Boy.
It is.
No?
I listen to a lot of island music. So, like,
I think that's kind of sort of the category it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good stuff.
Okay.
And then last but not least, whether these are words of encouragement to your future self, to anybody out there listening, or just here in this given moment in time, what do you have to say to the world? I
think a lot of people would be served with this piece of advice, and I've heard it a couple times from probably even a lot from Joe, honestly. And I alluded to it a little bit earlier, like, if you want to improve yourself, the first thing you can do, one, is to take an inward look at yourself and kind of where can you improve. I'm constantly doing that even now. Like, there's always ways to improve. And just to share, like, a small goal of mine is to next year drop to 155. And so that I can take a fight, or that I can, I'm going to work my conditioning. Like, that's a goal. So,
do you write down your goals every day?
No, I've
heard
about doing them. But
Power of the pen is one strong thing, my friend. You'd be surprised what you can accomplish if you just write, today I will do this.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I'm going to look into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just doing something that challenges you so you grow. And so by first reflecting and inwardly looking at where you can improve, and then to executing on doing something hard that'll help you. Nothing is ever easy the first time. It's going to be hard, and you should really embrace that first time being hard. Like, embrace the fact that it should feel uncomfortable. Like,
right.
If it feels too comfortable, maybe it's not challenging enough.
Right.
That's my advice.
That was very well said, my friend. It was good to see you again.
Appreciate
good to have you on. We're definitely going to do this again at some point if you are down.
I'm definitely.
With that said, everybody has a story, and it's still being written. Keep pushing, keep striving. My heart is with you all. Thank you again, Tay, for coming on. This is Aveontae Frazier, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to him. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for the support. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And with that said, ciao for now. Peace.